Hey guys, this is your girl Gina B. Sanderson of jbsanderson.com, and welcome and thank you for taking the time out to click and listen to my message today. Now, if you enjoy what you're listening to, if it connects with you, do like, share, comment, subscribe. Make sure you share with other people, someone else that may need to hear what I'm going to say today. Now, many of you may have heard and know my strands and what I stand for as an individual, and those three, if you're not aware, are choice. Everyone has a right to choose. Then you get your freedom from your actions and your choice. Then you get a lifestyle. So the three strands is choice, freedom, lifestyle. Anything that you hear me talk about, anything that you see on video, any of my events, in all of them, the three strands that will always come out will be choice, freedom, and lifestyle. Why do I do this? I always say it's important as individuals to know your truth, because your truth will not set but make you free. Now come on, be honest with yourself and choose freedom. Wouldn't you choose freedom? Be willing to be uncomfortable just for a period of time to truly be free. Don't be afraid to look back at your past and examine your present to learn for your future. And the reason why I say this is because, coming from an African background, I embrace the wisdom of Sankofa. I'm not afraid to look back and learn from my past in order to move forward. It was August 2016. And here I was sitting on my sofa with the sunlight shining through my living room windows. Well, I say sunlight. I do live in England, the UK, and we never really experience hot sunny weather, even in the summer months. Let's be honest. So let me say it was daylight, not sunlight, daylight coming through my living room windows. It was bright, but it was quite cold. At this point in my life, I had reached 38 years of age. I was married, or I'm married. Now I was a stepwife, my God. I was married, I am married. I'm a wife, stepmom, daughter, sister, auntie, cousin, friend, leader, and colleague. The list can go on and on and on. Often people ask me, "Oh, Gina, what do you do?" I ask them in which context they want to know, because I have many different hats, many different titles, many different labels. Quite often as females, we find ourselves with many, many, many different labels. So as I say, the list could go on and on and on. As I was so many things to other people, and yet when I looked at myself in the mirror, I could not see who I was. Others would describe me as a successful female entrepreneur who was living the lifestyle of her dreams, married with a house, car, job, businesses, and travelled whenever I wanted to. But something was still not right, and in August 2016, this is when I identified my truth. I was in a rabbit hole and couldn't see my way out. So now, I'm not sure if you've watched Alice in Wonderland, but in the story, there are times she finds herself falling down a rabbit hole, and through many different dimensions. Now, I wasn't falling down a rabbit hole. I had already set up home, unpacked my things, and I was quite comfortable. Now, it's quite easily done when we're just going through life to get caught up and not even realise where we may find ourselves. But I had made myself quite at home there, and it didn't look like I had any intention of leaving that toxic space anytime soon. Now, I can only imagine that you're thinking, how did she end up in the rabbit hole? So let me explain this to you. Now, I would say that the rabbit hole probably always existed, and over the course of my life, throughout my childhood, adolescence, and my early adulthood, and I would say early adulthood until I was probably about 21 years old, I would live and display a life I wanted others to see and not always show how I truly felt. Does this sound like any of you? Now, I guess this was my safe place that would become my prison. So we have between the ages of 22 and 26 years old, when I was actually living my true self. I was on top of the world and was soaring. My life goals were being realised. I was travelling. I was at my desired weight and dress size. Life was really, really good. I was living the freedom I always encouraged others to strive for. However, this time, upon reflection, was a mere 4 years of living my true self. Now, 4 years of living my true self. Now, this can't be good, as now I'm 39, soon to be 40 in October. Hey, hey. And that means for 35 years of my life, I have been existing and not really living. I work each day to ensure I exercise my right to choice, freedom, and lifestyle. And I'm doing this message today to let you know that you should do it too. The rabbit hole, however, resurfaced when I got with my now husband in 2005 and I was 27 years old. It was something that seemed to just appear overnight. And not until I stopped in my tracks after 12 years of us being together did I really see how the rabbit hole had become my reality. So, let's look at this. It didn't happen overnight. It took 12 years. Let me say this again. It did not happen overnight. It took 12 years. Over the past 12 years, my focus has been on supporting others around me. Hence the labels I used to describe myself previously, getting confused because there's so many different things. I was a resource to those around me. Many people around me could access my help, support, my knowledge, whatever it might be, and get value from me. But what about Gina? Who was supporting me? Who was supporting Gina? Upon reflection, I could see that Gina had left the building. Now, that's quite a scary thing when you think, oh my gosh, you're existing, but you're not even really there. You're just there. But the true essence of who you are is not really there. Gina had literally left the building. Now, be honest. I mean, if you know me, you know that I don't really put up with much crap, really. So I was never really forced to help people. I was never forced to help, support, or demanded to and neglect myself. But nonetheless, this is what happened. I just fell into that mode. And too often as women, this is what we naturally just do. And even if there's some guys of you that are out there listening also, we just fall into the trap of helping others and forgetting about ourselves. So by the time the year 2016's come, and at 38 years of age, I could not recognize the person that stood before me as I looked at myself in the mirror on occasions. So this time now, as I'm sitting on my sofa, I asked myself the question, who am I? Now I know these words keep on getting thrown around. I keep on hearing it a lot. Who am I? And this is a question that I'm continuously answering the more I live out my life with no limitations. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not limited by what I can do and what I can access, because obviously there's finances, there's availability and stuff like that. But in my mindset, I'm going for it. As long as I'm not putting limitations on myself, I am going for it. So here's me now. I had to make a choice to put myself first and get out of that rabbit hole. I began to assess what skills and resources I had at my disposal that could support me in getting out of this rabbit hole, and what I wanted my life to look like once I was out of it. I knew what I wanted and have always stood on my right to choose. We all have a right to choose. Never forget or give up your right to choose. So, make sense? Choice was my first action step. My first action step. You hear me talk a lot whenever you talk with me and attending my workshops and anything like that about action steps. Because people know steps, but there's action. You have to put action before the steps, because nothing's going to change unless you take action. My second step would be about freedom. I no longer wanted to feel confined to a space, labels, or environments that was not a true reflection of me. I have always loved to live a lifestyle of travel and having enriched and invaluable experiences. Now, this is why when I go on holiday and stuff like that, I try not to go all inclusive, because I want to experience the culture, the community. And the third step, and this completed my 3 strands, and as I say, choice, freedom, lifestyle, was that I was prepared to live a free life with no limitations, that I could live an abundant lifestyle, and I'm going to live it now. I am not waiting for everything to be in place, because remember I said it took 12 years for me to find myself in this rabbit hole and take up residence. So by nature, I mean, I'm not planning that it's going to take another 12 years for me to get out from it. However, I knew that I'm out of it, but in terms of the consequences of me remaining there for that period of time, it's going to take a long time for me to deal with all those other things that have come from it. But I'm going to live my abundant life, and I'm going to live it from now. So you will see my posts of, Gina in Dubai, Gina in St. Lucia, Gina in Gambia. I could be in so many different places. But this is a lifestyle. And the lifestyle part of it, guys, the lifestyle is about living your abundant life and self-care. Because a lot of times we don't look at ourselves and look after ourselves, because people think, oh, look at them, they're being indulgent. Oh, look at that person, oh, they're being selfish. It's not selfish. Self-care is never selfish, remember that. Self-care is your responsibility to your future self. So if anybody tells you, oh, you're too selfish because you want to go to the sauna, or you're too selfish because you want to take a long soak in a bath with your candles and some music, or you want to go out with your friends. Now, I'm not saying you do this all the time and forget about your responsibilities, but you should always carve out time, intentional time for self-care. So here we are, August 2016, and I was talking to my aunt. Now, my aunt is on my dad's sister, and she's got a house in Gambia. Now, we was planning to go there to celebrate her birthday the following year. Well, celebrating her birthday that year, but then she was also thinking about going back for her birthday the year after also. Now, I saw this as a chance to do something for me and get out of this rabbit hole I found myself in. Now, I spoke to my older sister, and I asked her if she was going to go. And she jumped at the idea of a holiday. Now, my older sister is very selfless. She gives of herself, and actually a lot of times she doesn't do much for herself. So when she said she was prepared to go on holiday, I said, oh, send me a picture of your passport. Why did I do this? I got the picture of her passport, and I booked the holiday before she could change her mind. Now, as I said, she's selfless, so she'll always give of herself. And I know she could talk herself out of it. But once I've paid for it, she's not going to waste the money. She's not going to waste it. So she jumped the opportunity, booked it, and we were going. Now, the date that I had booked to go was November the 6th, I believe. No, was it November 6th? Yeah, it was November the 6th. Now, it was a battle, because my intention was to go after my husband's birthday, whose birthday actually is on the 6th of November. Now, I knew I wanted out of the rabbit hole, but I did not want to leave my husband behind. But the date the airline had was on the 6th of November. And in that moment, and in that needing to make that choice, my stomach and my heart ached. And at the thought of leaving my husband on his birthday, it was a lot. But like I said at the beginning, sometimes you have to be uncomfortable for the moment. So I had made my decision that I need to put myself first, no matter what. And you will hear me saying this quite often, no matter what. I must admit, I was anxious, fearful, and felt unhappy when making my decision. But I knew ultimately it was for the best, and if I really wanted to evict myself from the rabbit hole I was so comfortable in, I would have to make these challenging decisions more often, and it's going to have to be a case of no matter what. Now, just to finish off here, on the 6th of November 2016 was the day I evicted myself from that rabbit hole. I had done it. Now, you hear me clapping, because I always encourage people, when you have done something, you've achieved and you've had a breakthrough, clap for yourself. Pat yourself on your back. When you do an action, you can hear that clap. When you hear that clap, our bodies are designed, it's muscle memory. You're like, oh my gosh, you're happy, you're excited, what is that? And you remember, your body will remember, and you would want to do more things. So when you have a breakthrough, clap for yourself, give yourself that pat on the back. And so as I said, November the 6th of November 2016 was the date I evicted myself from the rabbit hole. Never to return there again. And Gambia was amazing, and it is a place that I now call home. I share this with you today for you to understand why I do what I do, why I choose to support other individuals, both males and females, although my focus is on females, to find clarity and understand their truth, and to take the necessary steps to remove themselves from that. Now, it's a journey, and you know, my organization, Journey Before Success, JBS short, is because it's a journey. Like I said, I was in that space for 12 years. It's not going to change overnight. And I think sometimes we can be very unjust with ourselves in thinking that one action is going to change and undo the period of time that we've neglected, not even paid attention to certain areas in our life. So be kind to yourself, make the right choices that you need to make, know your truth for yourself. And I'm just going to share with you a few takeaways that I took from this experience. I mean, there's many more that I share in my online course, Non-Negotiable 12, which is going to come out the end of this month in June. And one of them was, I had to know my truth. I had to be honest with myself. No matter how uncomfortable it was, I had to be honest with myself and know my truth. I had to have a shift in my mindset that it's going to be a no matter what experience from now on. Otherwise, I'm going to remain a resident of the rabbit hole. And when people are looking for me, okay, Gina, her address is the rabbit hole. No one ain't trying to give that as an address. So I just want to share this with you, just as encouragement for others to know that no matter what or how you may find yourself, the situation you may find yourself in today, you don't have to remain in that place. You have the right to choose, make the right choices, assess your situation. What's your story? I'll be interested to hear that. Know your truth. Know where you would like to go. And share. Share this with others. Share this with your family members. If there's family members that you haven't spoken to about certain things. Talking is always good. So if this has resonated with you, and you would like to get any kind of support or some clarity on your thoughts, your situation, I do have a conference coming up in just over a week, 16th of June 2018. Now the link will be in the description, and you'll also see it here. Head over to my website, jbsadison.com, to see how you could either come to our workshop. This year's conference is going to be entitled Women Mind Your Business. Now here we're looking at your home, your actual business, if you're someone that does have a business, and lifestyle. And this is going to be an amazing time because we don't look at one in isolation. They all go hand in hand with one another. And then we're going to have a nice cocktail hour, after that grueling, I say grueling, but after taking part in the workshop, because you're going to work. It's not a come and listen to Gina talking. No, we're going to do some work. We're actually going to take those action steps. So when you leave, you're leaving with a form of journey planner, in a sense, for you to move forward and go and begin your journey. Now, in the evening, we've got a real talk session open. It's, we're going to be talking about just real stuff that us as women face on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. Now, there's a song that my niece had wrote, and there's a part in there where there's just a talk between a man and a woman about their relationship, and he just made a comment to her, and he said, "Remember, I'm with you, you're not with me." Really? Now, my thing on that was like, And I've heard many things that guys have said, or, people have said in relationships to each other. And we're going to chop this up a bit during the JBS Real Talk session. And, if you have any topics that you'd like to talk about, we probably won't get through all of them, but we'll pick out some and really, listen and chop them up, get some advice, see what other women think. But guys, the main thing is live your life. Live the life that you want to live, and live it now. Live it today. Live your abundant life today, not tomorrow. Make the right choice. As I say, if you want to head over to my website, jbsanderson.com, head over there and see what's available, what's coming up, what upcoming events are coming up that you can actually take part in to support you, encourage you, and enlighten your journey. Have a blessed day, and I shall speak to you soon. Remember, like, share, and subscribe for more stuff.